Dwayne Wade made a really good point, or I don't know if it's Dwayne Wade or the other commentator Steve Kerr made a really good point that USA is the only country that if you don't get the gold medal, you are considered losers. You could get silver, you could get bronze, but ultimately, if you don't get the gold, you are considered a loser.
It depends on the sport and it depends on the country, but for the most part, I would have to agree. Welcome to the Movement Hub podcast, guys. Another week, another dollar.
And another Olympics that just finished.
That's sad. I'm sad. I don't know what to watch.
B-boying.
I guess we're going to have to watch reality. Back to reality TV again.
Oh, Kardashians. Let's go.
Ugh. I think there's a new Bachelorette or something. Apparently, none of those couples ever made it in Bachelorette, yet people still watch.
Oh, really? All of them have failed to stay together.
Every single one has failed.
Interesting.
You know what?
The fact checker Haley will look on that. If Bachelor and Bachelorette, I think it is a complete failure as an experiment. Okay.
And how many seasons deep are they in now?
Christ.
So as
84.
of July 2024, there are 28 couples from the Bachelor franchise who are, there are 28 couples from the Bachelor franchise who are still together.
That's not true.
That is fake news.
Anyways, that's fake news.
Yes, and let's go back to the Olympics. Did you watch it?
Oh, I engulfed myself with the Olympics. I think one of the best things we've had was having Peacock, and we were able to see most of the sports that we were interested. The sports that were real sports. We really avoided all those fake ones,
like
horsey stuff.
Okay.
Wait, but those are equestrian sports are real.
Where the horses where they start crip walking and stuff, and they prance around and they think they're shit. No, we
Not
didn't
a
watch.
sport.
Not a sport. No.
What about the actual people who do the crip walk?
No, they're fighting for their.
There we go.
They're fighting for their lives.
Take number one.
Over there, they're fighting for their lives
Breakdancers
in Crompton.
So what's the news with that, Josh?
What is the news about what?
The news about b-boying and the Olympics.
My God. Okay, so the news I just found out today, as of today,
fresh off the press.
breakdancing will no longer be an Olympic sport in 2028. They scrapped it. So that's it. Grand opening.
Grand closing.
The one and only gold winner medalist is that person, whoever it was.
Whoever it was, one, she didn't win. But basically the one that made
there's two. There's men and women.
There's men and women. But the one that made all the headlines was definitely the one from Australia, the Australian woman that was, apparently she had a PhD in breakdance. Look, not all degrees are real.
Okay.
All right. You know who you are. You philosophy major.
Wow.
Sorry. I hope you're looking for a job.
Fact-checking reasons, France and Japan won the breakdancing.
As I'll find it.
So remind me what I'm about to watch again.
Apparently this thing is called breaking. It stems from breakdancing, which started from the hip hop culture. Apparently it started in the Bronx, from what I'm understanding.
Wow.
You're supposed to have a cardboard box on the floor, and I see no cardboard boxes.
It started in the Bronx, New York City.
There you go. It started. So basically,
1970s.
This is the
Ray Gun.
Ray Gun is her name.
From Australia.
From Australia.
36 years old. She looks drippy though, I have to admit.
I guess.
Before you knew her her performance, you gotta admit she looks pretty drippy though, with the green and the yellow. Okay, he's a hater.
Sure, you know what? Hey, represent your colors.
Let's get to these rounds.
From one 36-year-old to another.
All right, I'm watching this, and hopefully.
Also, in this particular shot, she's competing against a Filipino American.
Oh, she's going against. I didn't even know this.
I was about to say.
I didn't even know she went against America.
She looks Filipino.
Yeah.
And that makes a lot of sense. because Filipinos have won every season of America's Best Dance Crew.
There you go. So
All three seasons.
All right, clap it up, y'all. Clap it up. All right.
All right. That's not what we're here for.
Yeah.
So
skip
logistics is going on right now, and she's doing some moves. She's doing feet stuff. Hands are moving. She's off the ground. She does some spinny things.
Just some bouncing stuff.
Okay.
Little scissor kicks right there.
I think we'll fast forward to the
over the top.
We'll fast forward to here she is. Here she is. Sorry. So Australia's gonna come up. Logistics is still going. I think she just got served. I think that's what the kids say. All right, here she goes.
Circa year 2002.
Yeah, here we go. Manny, here it is. She's calling for the crowd.
All right, she said, lift your hands up.
She ran around in a circle.
Whoa.
She's having a seizure. Good. Okay. She's swimming. That's a good warm up.
Yeah,
to warm up your shoulders.
I honestly like that.
It's also a good self defense move if you're going that way. Okay, a handstand.
Okay.
All right, that was the thing.
All right.
Honestly, Manny, I think you and me could have done the same thing.
Yeah, I think I could have done a tad bit better.
All right, she's on her head now. Butts up in the air. She's protecting. That's what you do when you are attacked by a bear. You have to put yourself
you have
in
to move your head
fetal,
side to side.
You know.
In the footage, she is going against Logan Edra, and she is Filipino-American from California.
Okay, you do have to admit she is ranked number 15 in this competition. So,
okay. I mean, they should high school. This should be in every high school now. I feel.
Not every high school.
All right. USA is going up, but that's not what we're here for. So we're gonna fast forward again. Oh, is that it? Just one time?
No. There are multiple rounds.
I don't know. The thing about this is everybody's watching this on TV and they're so confused. And we're like, what is this? Why is this a sport? This is supposed to be a crime. All right. Anyways, so, okay. Yep, they're close to each other. They're doing hand gestures. They're not fighting. Okay.
All right.
Okay, she's coming up. Oh, she's in slow motion. She's going in half speed right now. Oh, she has a tummy issue. Okay.
All right, a little bit of scissor kicks
she's
here.
not as bad as what I see in the memes.
Yeah, I mean, she's like wiping the floor, doing a little bit of.
God, I saw this.
You see those people who go to raves and have those lights and they do like the light shows? Yeah, it doesn't necessarily sound like that, but
yeah.
It's like Terry Crews and White Chicks.
I've also seen this in an exorcism.
Wow.
Okay.
She's actually shut out. The U.S. has 9 points and she got 0. I don't even know that they get scoring for this.
Right. So I think it's based on all these judges, and the judge will choose who they think they won its particular heat.
Is it so the crowd has to be
that was
playing?
it.
I think that's it.
That was it.
I was like, okay, Manny. So that was breakdancing, and that was the only thing I'm ever gonna watch.
I personally don't think that she deserved all of those memes that were online.
It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
Exactly.
I'm just gonna say.
Yeah, it didn't look as bad. So
I feel like we've all been to those college events where we go and one guy's really trying. He's really passionate about it, and we're all supportive. And that this is this. Hey, I practice at home, and now I want to do this thing. Good for you.
Yeah.
But look, all in all, respect the sport, I guess. But again, should not have been a sport. Should not have been in the Olympics. But I want the culture to still keep going.
Yeah, I think it was a good stab at bringing a particular activity into the Olympics, because you can argue you can put all these different kind of sports or activities, whether or not you consider these activities as sports that are in the Olympics, which I will name none. But I think that usually it's good to try and sample these different type of activities for the Olympics. So I think it was a good try.
I'm not mad at it. I support your effort. And you know what? She's an Olympian and we're not.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Any other takeaways from anything you've seen in the Olympics?
Let's see. My favorite sport to watch on the gold medal match was basketball.
Basketball was very
Team
interesting,
USA
especially
versus Team France.
for men's and women's.
Mhm.
But I
Oh,
will
yeah.
say USA and Serbia was a very exciting game as well.
I like the France game better.
Okay.
I like
Well,
the-
USA was 3 minutes away from being a shot put country.
Right.
You know,
You know what? Dwayne Wade made a really good point, or I don't know if it's Dwayne Wade or the other commentator made it. Oh, Steve Kerr made a really good point that USA is the only country that if you don't get the gold medal, you are considered losers. You could get silver, you could get bronze, but ultimately, if you don't get the gold, you are considered a loser.
it depends on the sport and it depends on the country, but for the most part, I would have to agree. For USA basketball, I definitely have to agree. I would say in like ping pong, or
Ooh.
as the Chinese call it,
That was a good one.
ping pong, they are expected to have a gold medal as well.
Right.
So anything that they don't have, they would definitely be a failure in.
Mhm.
Like you get silver, which I believe has happened before. I believe a Korean has won gold
Mm-hmm.
before. But other than that, Chinese dominate in diving. Apparently they got a bunch of gold medals in that.
Yeah, I watched the what do you call it when two divers go at the same time?
Synchronized diving.
Synchronized diving. God, that
Looks
is just such a
Some of the-
specific sport.
Some of the strongest people. The body control. It's basically gymnastics.
Yep, absolutely.
And what's that? The fear of heights.
Right.
Yeah.
I think there's like nothing much for diving, especially. There's
Mm.
nothing much of how skilled you are as a swimmer,
Mm.
but how you twist and turn in the air and land into the water and
no
not
splash.
with no splash.
splash.
A little, a
Tiny
small,
splash.
tiny
Yeah.
splash. So it's quite interesting to see that.
Yeah, no. I would say that one thing I got thoroughly impressed at is Japanese wrestlers. I did not even know how good Japan is in wrestling.
Hmm.
And I think, don't quote me if I'm wrong, Japanese women in the 6 weight classes, they won gold in every single weight class.
Wow. Good
So
Interesting.
they were beating our U.S. women or whatnot. I might be wrong. I've heard that or something. But even the Japanese men were doing work on our U.S. wrestlers. And U.S. have a amazing pedigree when it comes to U.S. wrestling. So I found that very interesting that our U.S. wrestlers got knocked out of the gold medal match. They won some bronze, but they got knocked out from Japanese wrestlers, which is remarkable.
Do you think that these Japanese wrestlers were former sumo wrestlers that just became?
No, they're not fat enough.
Okay, but I mean, like they
Yeah.
were former sumo wrestlers that became Olympic wrestlers.
Well, they must have went to Subway and lost 300 pounds because they
Oh, Zembe.
they're on that
They were
Ozempic.
on that
They're very light
Ozempic.
right now. Judo was very interesting because usually Japan, it's their sport. You figured they would dominate.
Yeah.
France did work, especially the heavyweight, the team event. France was fantastic in judo. But overall, it was a U.S. dominated sport. U.S. dominated Olympics. Once again, tied for the most gold medals.
With
Overall,
China.
40.
40,
40
which China
apiece.
also had, but
Mhm.
dominated in silver and bronze and have the overall total, which is
But overall.
No, the overall total was U.S.
U.S.
Yeah.
No,
US,
yes. No,
yeah.
U.S. definitely got most of the stuff. They killed it in track.
Yeah, we
Mhm.
have a total of 126 medals.
126 medals.
40 gold, 44 silver, 42 bronze.
The things you get by being free,
Mhm.
you know?
Are we talking about getting free things?
No,
Or
freedom.
Ah.
That's what I'm saying. Nothing's free in America.
Nothing.
I'm actually have to pay more.
Mhm.
That's where your
But-
tax dollars go.
Yeah. Gymnastics were pretty exciting. Slightly controversial.
Ooh. Yeah.
But we for our folks,
For our Filipinos, let's go.
this is a very interesting one.
Yep.
I'm gonna butcher his name. What's his name?
Carlos
Yulo.
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 Not YOLO, Yulo.
I just found out about him, and we found his first event randomly. I'm like, oh, there's a Filipino guy. Oh shit, he got gold.
Yeah, it was in the single event.
Pole vault? No, not pole vault. That's something else. Vault.
Floor
Just
vault.
vault. No
Vault.
poles were.
Yeah.
Well, he got
involved.
floor exercise first
Yes.
before
He
vault.
got floor.
Yes.
And he got a golden floor, and then he got a gold in vault.
Vault.
And he is the first Filipino male that got a gold medal.
It's a
The
big
first
deal.
Filipino that got a gold medal was the last Olympics, which was in weightlifting, which was Hidden Diaz, but he became the first male. And this is how big it is in the Philippines. So he got a lot of gifts. And you've heard about all these
Yep,
gifts.
he got the one thing that stands out the most is free colonoscopy.
Free colonoscopy,
for
baby.
life. Starting at the age of 40, though.
Health is wealth. I mean, you should
40.
really start once you get to...
Considering the out-of-pocket expenses that Filipinos pay.
That's
that is
actually a really good deal.
Free for healthcare.
Producer Haley, what else is what are the other things that he got?
Okay, so let me go through the list. Government cash incentives include 20 million Philippine pesos.
In good old American dollars.
So he received 20 because it was for every medal, so 10 each.
Ooh.
And then also House of Representatives doubled it and asked put a cash prize up for an additional 6 million.
And our very own Congress.
So
Definitely get
total, you're talking about 104 US dollars and 349 US dollars.
that goes a long way.
Yeah.
You are
In the Philippines,
You
for
are
sure.
going to be asked for money.
And
and
also,
Yep.
you gain 80 more cousins too.
Yep, there you go.
then that's just the cash prize. Then there's the condo, house, and lot. Because what more generational wealth than having property? He's getting a 24 million pesos 2-bedroom, fully furnished condo and a 35 million pesos worth 3-bedroom unit. So he's getting he's getting a house and lot and a condo.
Wow. That is a big deal.
He's not the only country that they give him like free housing. I know like some I'm not sure if it's true or not, but I think it's like Kazakhstan. Like if you win bronze, you get a 1-bedroom. You win silver, you get 2.
Right.
And then you get 3-bedroom if you win the
Wait.
gold.
Oh, interesting.
Sorry, I misspoke. It was initially a 2-bedroom, but because he won 2, it got upgraded to a 3-bedroom, and that's worth 35 million now. And he's also getting a $6 million home and lot.
Got
So
it.
those are
6
two
US
different-
million.
6 million pesos.
Okay, I'm about to
and then
say.
a 35 million pesos condo.
Wow.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Manny, we need to go back to the Philippines and start like representing.
What sports
So what-
would you guys?
Yeah.
Well, now that breaking is over.
there goes Josh's
you
hopes
go,
and
Mike.
dreams.
Yeah, that was my only chance of even like getting into the Olympics.
No.
People don't understand how hard it is to be an Olympian, and
Yes.
let alone
Yeah.
medal place on the podium.
Right.
You know, for every podium medal, bronze, silver, gold that we see, there are like thousands more that just didn't get anything. So you got to take that into account. We see the winners, we see people that lost, but there are so many that didn't even get into the qualifying stages.
Yep.
So
What do you think are the biggest sacrifices all these Olympians have to make when it comes to training up to the Olympics, or even getting chosen to be the representative of their respective country?
well, a lot of it one is the obvious is money. Some athletes had to fund themselves to even participate. I know the first gold medal, correct me if I'm wrong, from Pakistan.
Yes.
He won in
javelin.
javelin. He is the first ever to win a gold medal, and he funded that his own
With
self.
his village and his family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crowdsource. You know, people went to GoFundMe to just help him live out his dreams, and look at that gold medal. You know, and that's the thing about these athletes. Like, it's cool that you hear the prizes, whatever, but there's not much to being an athlete. And let alone, let's say it's like people that we know prime time. You're Simone Biles, you're Sha'Carri Richardson, you're Noah Lyles, everybody in the NBA. Yes, we know all these people, but like track, if you wanted to do 110 hurdle, 400 hurdle, like, I don't know. I'm assuming you're paying for your own plane ticket.
Yeah.
You have to spend the time to do strength and conditioning. You got to hire a coach. You got to hire a track coach.
You got to get a nutritionist.
You got to eat the right things. You got to stay sober, Manny. You got to not
drink down whiskeys while doing a podcast episode.
That's right.
That's how we do it now. That's how we do it.
So we're talking about track and field, and I have to jump in. Flavor Flav and Reddit co-founder Alexis Ohanian,
I heard about this.
yeah, Serena Williams' husband, helped pay the rent for one of the Olympic track and field athletes, Veronica Fraley.
Yes, she's a college athlete.
Yes,
she couldn't afford tuition. No, her rent. She couldn't afford rent.
So they jumped in and helped pay, and also for Flavor Flav, he jumped in and helped fund the women's water polo.
Wow, the whole team.
Yes.
Wow, that is a tough sport. I don't even know if they have a professional league.
Yeah, that one was. I don't know if you've watched the games of water polo.
I have.
I'd be more concerned about drowning than actually going for the ball.
Speaking of drowning, well, that's later on in the show.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. We'll talk about that another time.
Wow,
a lot of drowning happening lately.
Flav paid for USA women's water polo and men's national teams. Both men and women's water polo.
Water polo sort of needs the money because they don't have I don't think they have a professional league. I don't think, we watch water polo. Let's be honest. We watch these sports once every 4 years.
Right.
There's some people that really follow. Like I like to follow men's and women's volleyball.
Gymnastics.
Well, Haley watches gymnastics, so she had to guide me along with some of the things that go on. Like, why do guys do this stuff? Why don't guys do dainty things?
Yeah.
They pose, they do this, they smile, and they shimmy, and they dance, and they have music. Guys don't do that for men's gymnastics. And I was like, why not? Because I'm all about equality, Manny.
It was quite interesting to know, too, like when you do vault, there's only a specific amount of steps you can do after you plant both of your feet down, right?
And there's a point where you have to jump. So like once you get to that point, and how you land, and then there's 3 lines. For men, your feet have to land together, like stiff. For women, there's a little bit of leeway. Yeah.
But when you're landing after the vault, you have to land with both feet together, but you're still allowed a step.
Yes.
Right?
Like a little hop.
A little
hop. As long as your feet are like planted together.
So that's why when I saw Carlos Yulo's vault attempt, where he did like this double tuck and then a spin at the end, that he did a little hop. So I didn't know that.
I think it's because
you took a step, it would be
his difficulty was very high compared to the rest of the field. So he had a decent landing, but his difficulty is what made him stand out.
I see.
Because I feel like there's not a lot. Also, he's a small guy, so it helps. There's a thing.
That guy does not look like a short guy, but in terms of width,
no, he a thick boy,
and he got some girth, yo.
Yeah, he got the hammies. You know what I mean? He got his
quads.
He got the quads. He got the arms. He got everything.
So don't make me mistake. But he is. I think in gymnastics, it benefits you to be a shorter person.
Agreed.
Usually, the women are usually like 5'2" and less. Simone Biles like 4'9", 4'10", but powerful.
Yeah.
So the thing about, I would make a comparison to Yulo and Simone Biles is that they're small and compact, but explosive and powerful. And they're able to do moves that I can see other people in the field are unable to do.
Right.
So I find that very fascinating to watch. There's a lot of things that I see, and I like to see how different people from other areas of the world are kind of different. You know what I mean? Some people have slight advantages. I would say like West Africans and East Africans are very much different. I see the East Africans definitely dominate the long endurance type running.
Like track.
I think like the in women's, which was the very last event, which was women's marathon, it was a Dutch woman and Ethiopia number 2 and Kenya number 3, which are usually the common nations. But I found out that the Dutch woman is also Ethiopian as well, by descent.
So the genetics had something to do with the training.
This is a big deal, Manny. Like if we were trying, the U.S. does it right, and I think it helps to get funding. Not everybody can get a Wheaties commercial.
That's the endorsements, right? We get Nike, we get Athleta, we get
like Sydney McLaughlin from New Jersey. I have to add that in. won gold and was goated. She is clearly dominant. She's got like a Neutrogena commercial or something, or Olay, whatever.
Didn't she smoke the competition by like 2 to 3 seconds?
Oh, that relay?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
that was amazing.
And on the Olympic stage, 2 to 3 to 5 seconds is a lot.
It's an eternity.
So Sydney, we looked up the top 10 records in the world. She's 7 of them now.
Right, because she kept on breaking her own world records.
Breaking her own record. There were only 2 other people in the top 10, but 7 of those times are hers.
Right, that's incredible.
This goes to my point that in to be in the Olympics, not only do you have to win the genetic lottery, you have to be first introduced to the sport. Like some
at
people,
an early age,
young enough to be spotted. And I was saying this while I was. I think we had this discussion last couple podcasts ago that there were Chinese weightlifters who, if they get chosen at a young age in their grade school, whatever. And I said to Haley, and I was like, if the U.S. trained like China, but still had our money and didn't have that much freedom, we would win so many medals.
Yeah,
we would win
freedoms to get more Olympics.
We would get every single medal. I think like the fact that the Chinese were so close in the medal count, but the difference is the Chinese are very ethnically homogenous. Because if you look at the Chinese team, Manny, they all look Chinese. I'm gonna say this. But you can't say that for every country.
Yeah, that's very true.
You can't say that for the U.S. You definitely can't say that for France. It's, like in the ping pong sport, like every person sent their best Chinese player to represent their country.
Track and field. You saw European countries, Black women.
You would see a lot of, I try not to say African American because wait a minute, they're not American.
No, they're not.
I would see like a lot of like Black Germans.
Very impressive though.
But like from Norway, Netherlands, and like fantastic. I think the smart guy on TV, not Neil deGrasse Tyson, the other guy, the Asian guy, he said like the best thing that the U.S. got in terms of sports, their biggest weapon is immigration visa, and that's the thing that we dominate, and freedom.
Yeah. So it's not so much about the ethnicity that a person, or the ethnic background that a person has representing the country. It's majority of it is where that particular person resides.
Opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you could be, again, like you said, like every single country in the world, when it comes to ping pong, they're sending out their best Chinese ping pong player.
It's like the math team. Like US won math, like I think it was like last year.
All
but
Asians?
if you look at the picture, you wouldn't tell which one was the Chinese team. Regardless, we won. USA. So
yeah, it's just all about opportunity. There was one girl that medaled for women's gymnastics that could have represented France, the home country, but she was shut out because of her father's Algerian nationality. She was born in France, and France did not medal in anything, but she medaled for Algeria.
Interesting.
So that was a missed opportunity for France.
And it actually goes it's not just U.S. too. There's actually people who are from America. And they're like representing elsewhere, and they're like, America's too good, and the only way I can make it into the Olympics is if I do another, if I can represent another country. I know this one U.S. wrestler who represents for San Marino, but was one of the top wrestlers. It's so competitive.
Yeah. He just got snubbed from the USA lineup.
Like the U.S. can only send so many representatives. Yeah. Right. So like I'm gonna play San Marino. He might have podiumed too. He might have got a bronze. Correct me if I'm wrong, 4th or 5th place. But you get a chance to compete, and I think for a lot of people, and including myself, when I watch, it's like, man, it's so astonishing to watch. It makes you. I don't know if you feel this, that you want to be in the Olympics yourself.
Sure.
I don't know if you feel that.
No, I think roasted like Australia.
Yeah,
I don't care. Yeah. I want her to put me, like anyone can be famous now. She's going to be on the TikToks. She's
I hope she gets something out of this. I feel bad.
yeah. The guy from Turkey won
Yeah.
silver in shooting. We don't even know who the other people were.
So we went from the Haktua girl
And
to
then
the turkey shooting guy.
Turkey shooter.
And now the B
to the
girl, Australian.
and that's how the internet is. The internet's undefeated.
It just moves on.
But opportunities come from about.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I don't think, at least for me, I play a lot of different sports, and to see all these different people playing at the highest level on the Olympic stage, I think one, it's a knock on reality to know and understand where you are on a physical stage, and also like how hard these people work. It's crazy, like the amount of time and effort and energy and investment of their mental health that they're putting into these different sports are just top notch, especially the ones who really, really, really want gold and nothing less.
Right.
They dedicate a lot. They sacrifice a lot of their social lives, a lot of their times. Like they could have a 6-figure job.
They could.
You know, they could.
With that type of personality of being so dedicated to getting a goal. So what do you think is the number one setback or the number one negative effect of wanting to be an Olympic champion?
Just the setback is definitely the sacrifices you have to make. You have to do the things you don't want to do. Waking up early, doing 2-a-days. Honestly, Manny, like, do you feel like working out every day?
I do.
Wow. Okay. Anyways, so for most of us,
and I do 2-a-days twice a week.
There are days, and I'm gonna speak for myself and for a lot of people that we just don't want to work out. We could push it off for another day. Obviously, I have a goal. I got a high rocks that I want to do. I got this Beast Tamer challenge that I want to do for the RKC, and after that, I want to go back to competitive powerlifting. So
it's a lot of juggling.
It is.
Well, not at the same. It's not at the same time.
Right. It's one after the other.
At the same time, I gotta deal with multiple businesses. I gotta pay taxes, Manny.
We all do. I hope. IRS. We're law-abiding citizens.
Yeah,
here.
of course. I pay all my taxes.
Like, and I have to manage a team, and then that's time consuming too. So am I making excuses that because I have all these responsibilities, I can't be an Olympic athlete? No, I'm sure there are Olympians out there that
speaks on that.
That have real jobs, and they still manage.
Yeah.
They have families. A lot of people do have families and still make it through.
We're talking about like the funding part, right? Like a lot of them, just to make it to the Olympics, work multiple jobs just to be able to go to the Olympics.
Yeah, I remember that some of these track stars were actually like Uber drivers or delivery guys.
Yeah. And
like they delivered, and I think it was cycling or track, where he had to deliver in the morning and then do training later on in the day. And that was his day-to-day routine.
Right.
Well, this is the beautiful thing about the Olympics and sports is no matter what your economic standpoint is in life or position in life, you could be the one who is the best at that particular sport and be the one to represent your country, or just generally be the best player. Yeah. Like I would assume that there is some person in the world who lives under a grass hut, but is the best ball player on that team.
With chanelas, wiping the floor and everything.
And then you give them a pair of shoes and boom, now they're in the Olympics.
The worst thing that Olympics did, especially in the Olympic Village, is that, they hand out condoms.
Why is that the worst thing?
It's the worst thing because
Don't we want to be protected?
Because it defeats... it prevents us from getting to the next stage of evolution, right? You have like the 1% of the 1% of genetic freaks all in one space. They come in 4 times a year.
Looking at it from
So you want to build the next Olympic 100-meter runner who can also throw a javelin
and swim underwater forever. Has gills.
So pretty much, this guy's Aquaman. Like,
the next Aquaman is waiting at the Olympic stage.
God bless Serena Williams. I know she dated an NFL player, but then she eventually married the guy from Reddit.
Okay, but that's smart. So you have the athletic genes and then the entrepreneurial.
I love that, and I'm hope they're happy.
Bit of both.
Yeah.
And love is love, and I'm happy for them and all. But Manny, what could have been? the greatest specimen of all time.
Can we talk about Simone Biles?
Simone Biles and Carlos Yulo was like,
Oh
hey,
my God.
what's going on?
The greatest gymnast.
You want a
kid will be
the
doing 10
greatest
flips.
5'1" Black Filipino, the greatest gymnast of all time. You know what I mean?
You would be doing moves that's not even possible.
Exactly.
But she's married to a Chicago Bear, and that could also be a genetic.
That is true. That is true. You're not wrong.
Combination of oof.
But yeah, those were my takeaways. I think we pretty much covered most of the sports. I think this was a very fun Olympics.
Yeah.
I think like there was a lot of things mismanaged poorly.
Like what?
On France's part.
Ooh.
One, triathletes had to swim in the Seine River, and it's full of poop.
Yeah, so right before, a lot of people were protesting and literally threw fecal matter into the same river, saying protesting the mayor about why would you have this sport here? This water is filthy. You're lying to us. And then right before the opening ceremony, throwing poop into the water.
But they still swam.
They still swam, and they got sick.
Yes,
a lot of people got reported they got
yes.
sick. Manny, would you swim in the Hudson River?
If the Olympic gold medal was on the line, I probably would.
That's what I'm talking about. Sacrifice.
I will swim in the shit water just for the gold.
That's sacrifice, and that's what the Olympic spirit is all about. You know, no, on a normal day, no, but for the Olympics,
on a normal day, maybe just for fun, yeah.
Just to say you did it.
Well, what's wrong with a little E. coli? You know, it goes a long way.
That is insane. I did not even know that was a thing that happened.
Yeah, and then the story about
there was a couple of stories about
Jordan Childs. They want to take away the bronze, and I say don't. I was like, you're gonna have to pry it off of my cold.
Yeah. There was also the story about the Jamaican team was visibly absent for some events. There was some sort of mix-up in what gate. There was a rule change, and they were in the wrong gate to enter. Sha'Carri Richards was also part of that, where she had to walk for an hour to the right gate before her event. And that event, she came in silver. So a lot of people were speculating if she was able to stretch, if she didn't have to walk for an hour just to get to the right gate. How well could she have done?
In terms of Jamaicans in this Olympics, it was a very disappointing.
Yeah.
And I don't, and as much as I want the U.S. to win, I would like Jamaica to be there in the running.
It's fair.
But what did Jamaica get in this Olympics?
They got a discus? I think they got a discus, silver, and it's their first medal in the discus or the shot put. I
Male,
forgot
female?
One. It was a male. It was a big guy, and I'm like, this is definitely like the most thick Jamaican I've ever seen.
Right.
In
discus, I did see a girl representing China win, I believe, silver or bronze. And it's like one of those sports you don't necessarily think that a girl from that country would be elite level around the world.
What sport was this?
Discus.
Okay.
Yeah, so discus was
as well.
Jamaican gold.
I will say, any of the throwing sports, Manny, force equals mass times acceleration.
You gotta yeet it,
Yeah.
You gotta.
In order to have force, you must have mass.
You gotta be a little bigger, of course.
You gotta be a thick person.
You don't see no scrawny people in there.
No skinny champions here.
Not in rugby either.
Rugby was so fun.
Rugby sevens.
Manny, rugby sevens is the most entertaining sport I've seen. And it was very early on.
How many people do you normally have on a rugby team or on a rugby field?
I don't know what the full rugby is, but rugby seven.
Seven means 7 people.
7 people
on each team.
Again, I'm watching something I don't normally watch, but I think it might be the same field as a normal rugby, or it's smaller, but they cover so much ground.
Yeah.
But it's 2 7-minute halves. It's literally a 14.
Wow.
It's a 14-minute game.
So they just go balls out from start to finish.
Unlike that Saturday. The game started on Friday. On Saturday, it was like, gold medal match. Like, how did we get here already? Like, and I was watching U.S. win the bronze which was so fun.
Mhm.
And I think if they put rugby sevens like in a professional league in America, I would so watch. I'm so in. That is a sport that I would love to see more often. That is a real sport over there. You know, not only you got to be thick, you got to be fast. You can't be a thick boy and just like, oh, you know,
got to be
I like
thick,
to eat.
fast, and you have to have a lot of endurance on you.
Strong.
Even if you're only playing for 7 minutes each half,
No.
you are going all out.
That is, you're basically doing like a finisher, you know,
Yeah,
for 7
running
minutes
for-
straight.
for 7 minutes
Yeah.
straight.
with other people trying to run you over.
Oh
Yep.
my God. Rugby sevens is my
Running
new
for your
favorite sport.
life.
That is crazy.
So I think Filipinos should get in on this. Hear me out, Philippines.
Also, like,
Rugby
soccer.
sevens.
Rugby sevens.
Filipinos.
I think the
You
more
are
we
insane. That
we
is-
have to.
That is not happening.
I don't know if we could go against some Samoans.
No,
that
we
are,
got to
like, twice
intermingle
our-
with some. some.
You're talking about the same
some-
crossbreeding
yeah.
you wanted to happen in the
We need to
Olympics.
get
Yo,
some
you eat.
Samoans.
You'd be like, you eat spam too, you know, and then like they connect.
Handshake.
They fall in love and have this
Fusion.
amazing rugby seven baby that comes out 28 years later in the New York City Olympics, Manny.
And hopefully that
the
is a
Hudson-
game that is still existing in that Olympic cycle, considering the turnover of how many sports get eliminated.
True. Baseball, softball coming back next time. Flag football coming back. That's kind of weird.
Wait, flag football was in the Olympics?
In 2028, it will be.
I feel like because of the
Interesting.
U.S. is like hosting it.
I see. Because it's happening in Los Angeles,
Yes.
right?
It's
It's in Los Angeles, which I think is going to be a fun time. Let's go, Manny. We should go.
I kind of do want to go.
Let's go.
For
We
you.
would love some sponsorship by then, guys, if you're listening.
Let's go.
You know, we
Hopefully-
drink this a lot.
Yeah.
Chief Forest.
Yeah.
Chief Forest, thank you for sponsoring us.
Celsius
for the
mixed berry. You know what I mean?
2028
If you can get us
Olympics.
in.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
I think this was, I know this is an Olympic recap, but I think this was very fascinating to watch. I think there's a lot of things that you can pick apart in terms of like the strength and conditioning aspect of it.
Right. But I think also the Olympics in general just serves as a big motivator for any young athlete or
Yes.
even old athlete who really wants to push it to the limits.
Inspiring.
I put this on the TV whenever the group class is on.
Ping pong. There was a woman that was Chinese descent, could not make it into the Chinese national team.
She was 58 years
She
old.
was 58 and represented Chile.
Wow.
Yeah, and she did quite well. She got into the semifinals.
I feel like Chile, based on what I know about these two athletes, just recruits
It's got to be like the
athletes
best,
from different countries. Be
Yeah.
like,
or it's got to be the easiest immigration visa you can get.
Love that.
you just apply, be like, oh, so you're number 2 in your country, but they didn't take you?
Yeah.
Yeah, come to Chile.
Welcome.
You are
Welcome.
now
You're now.
Chilean.
Yeah. Yes.
You are
A
now
citizen.
honored Chilean.
Don't I gotta take a test? Nah, we're
You
fine.
need to learn a language? No, just
No.
Yeah.
just hit
Yeah.
the ball. Just catch the ball, hit the ball.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hit
So.
her across the table.
But yeah, I think like I asked my clients and they're fascinated about it too. I think the storylines are great. I think the
Yeah.
Olympics should
Very inspiring.
Olympics, like from me, my earliest memory of it was '96. Watching it, like I couldn't stay up late at night, and there's the one time that my parents allowed me to watch, and we would see the opening ceremony. We would watch like basketball, all these cool sports.
Peak basketball, 90s.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, dream team.
Dream Team 2, '96. I had
Mhm.
Shaq at that time.
Good times on the Olympics. And it's just it's amazing to see
Yeah.
all these different people at the highest level compete. And you know, when they lay it all on the line,
Yep.
they are probably using every ounce of energy and motivation that they have just to win that gold circle.
For sure. I would love to see a normal person try to run 400 meters next to like a.
This has been mentioned
Like a
where
city.
what we got to do is pick like random people from different
Just the
countries,
layman's-
not knowing
yeah,
anything they know
right.
about, but like
This is
do
what
the
actual people look like trying to run 400 meters versus like, the entire Olympic team.
Right.
Yeah,
You know?
let's
Even like regularly trained people.
Yeah.
Like even me, I would assume if I even tried to run a 100-meter dash, I haven't timed it before, but let's just say I'd be 3 seconds, 4 seconds behind,
Mhm.
right? I would assume I could do it in maybe 14 seconds because the Olympic record is 9 point something.
That's Usain Bolt in 2008.
So I'm going to assume I can do it in 15 seconds at least for a 100-meter dash. That is me still halfway mark of where Usain Bolt already is. So
levels to this.
Yeah, there is levels. And when you see like somebody like even half a second or even like a quarter of a second behind the other person, it looks like you're a couple feet away from winning that gold. So anyway, at least in those sports.
I think I did the math when we were watching women's marathon as the last event. On average, because they go over 2 hours per
202
mile.
was the winner for men's.
202, yeah.
Yeah, so on average, 1 mile was like 2 minutes, 2-something minutes.
That's crazy. I wouldn't be able to catch them on in their last mile. I would not be able to catch
those people are moving.
Yeah.
They are moving the whole time.
And it's crazy because like anybody can run. So anybody has, But if you're not Kenyan or Ethiopian, you have no
everyone
chance.
can run, but run well.
Do you ever see powerlifting be implemented into the Olympics?
If it is, I would sign up for 2028 right now. I'm telling you, Manny, I would dedicate myself to not having a life for the next 4 years and going to LA and representing for Chile.
That's what I was going to say.
Philippines, sir.
Well, I'm trying to get in, damn it.
There's some strong people in the Philippines too. So
that's what I'm saying, though. But Chile, though, I got a chance.
Be like, oh, you're number 3 in your country?
I'm in. I'm in.
You are now pronounced Chilean.
With his last name Tevez, they could say.
I was looking into the. I was actually looking. Why is honestly it should be powerlifting should be in the Olympics, and I was looking at why it isn't. There's no unified body, and there's a lot of things that prevent it, and it's very political, from my understanding. But I know there's an IPF World Championship, and I think like that could be the thing that speaks to the IOC, the Olympic Committee, to be like, hey, add powerlifting.
Yeah, we're athletes too.
It would be so fun. I would love to see powerlifting. I've watched the IPF World Championships on YouTube, and I think like it's interesting. I think it can be done.
It's kind of like how the Olympic weightlifting went. I love how there is some kind of strategic game that goes on because depending on what position you're in and how much you're trying to start with, you're still trying to, at the end of the day, winning a gold is you have to be the one who lifts the most amount of kilos on a snatch and a clean and jerk.
But part of it is also paying attention to what everybody else is doing. The goal is not to get a PR. The goal is to have a higher
in the game as
higher,
well.
and that's how Hiddlin won, because honestly, watching that, it should have been a Chinese medal. It should have been a Chinese gold medal. But she had this thing where she maneuvered her numbers where I'm going to have the last attempt.
Right.
And then she hit that attempt.
It's also, I'm assuming, a little risky, especially if you know that you have not hit it before.
That was a life PR.
It was a once in a lifetime lift
Yeah.
that people do. And I love to see it in the stage. And you know what? I hear me out, Olympics. Put powerlifting in. I just want to get a chance at a colonoscopy. Like
that's all he wants.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can give you a colonoscopy, buddy.
Wow. Let me see your credentials, sir.
I don't need them.
You probably got a degree in breakdance.
There you go. Just shove one leg in and shake it around.
That's what it is. All right.
But to wrap up this episode, we would like to congratulate one of our own, Carlos Yulo.
Yeah.
Carlos, you are welcome to be a guest in our podcast. Come to Jersey City, bro.
You can pay for the flight because you can obviously afford it now.
No, whoa. I didn't even finish that list of what he got, because one of the things that he gets is free flights. He gets 150,000 Mabuhay miles from Philippine Airlines, and Cebu Pacific
I don't think they can reach here.
28 free domestic and international flights. So
I don't think they can reach here. Maybe LaGuardia.
She said 28 free international and domestic flights.
from Cebu Pacific.
I heard he gets like free mac and cheese. forever.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a good benefit.
Pizza Hut,
What?
Dairy Queen, Vikings, which is a popular buffet back home.
Pizza Hut's salad bar is not bad.
Never been. Never been.
That's the the dine-in.
So Carlos, if you're listening,
If you're
we would
listening.
love to
Get
have
that
you here
to
flight
get you in and discuss. And hey, maybe we get ready for 2028.
Mm-hmm.
How we want to know how you feel about all these colonoscopies.
And I think we should end on that note.
Yeah, there you go, guys.
Colonoscopies. Take care of yourself.
All right,
Oh,
we're
yes.
so proud of you, Carlos.
Tune
Good
in.
job.
We're very proud of you. Proud of my guy. We got 3 gold medals back in the homeland. I really appreciate it. Cheers to you.
Yes. And Hidlin, of course.
We have a special guest for next week.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you guys to anticipate it. That's it.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. Watch in. It's going to be pretty cool. We might talk about cool things. Okay? All right, guys. That'll be all. And I'll see you on the next one.
Peace out.